What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Joshua's Proximity. Look, the NFL season is literally upon us right now. The preseason games is going on. The first preseason game kicked off this past Thursday. The LA Chargers versus the Detroit Lions. But that's not why I'm here right now. I'm here to talk about a little topic that I talked about earlier last week about the Pro Football Hall of Fame and how we're starting to get into a longevity thing. To me, it's not really about skill anymore. I think as you're starting to see guys play longer. You're going to see records be broken, and then you're going to see a lot of guys that's going to be getting in to the Hall of Fame that really shouldn't be into the Hall of Fame. So if you've never seen what the NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame looks like, this picture right here is in Canton, Ohio. I implore you, whenever you get a chance, go visit. And this was the 2025 inductees, left to right: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. So if you guys follow me on TikTok, there was a topic that I talked about. I was on record saying that this guy that played for the San Francisco 49ers, Frank Gore, is not a Hall of Famer. Now, if you go look at the numbers, Frank Gore, just based solely off of rushing yards, is a Hall of Famer. Third all time with literally 16,000 rushing yards. That's a lot of rushing yards. But once you start to do a deeper dive into his stats, he's only had 5 Pro Bowls. He's been with multiple teams. He's only had a one-time second-team All-Pro. I mean, just look at the jerseys that I'm going through right now. The Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, played for damn the entire AFC East, the Indianapolis Colts. And when you think about Frank Gore during his time frame, really just in the entire National Football League, do we ever consider him a top 5 running back? I mean, the numbers are what they are. Don't get me wrong. 16,000 is no small feat. But what am I going to do with 5 Pro Bowls in a 16-year career? You're telling me for 7 seasons, really, yeah, you're telling me for 11 seasons you were never a Pro Bowler or never a first-team All-Pro? 9 seasons you were with the San Francisco 49ers, and those were your best years? Those 9 years, you almost rushed for 1,000 yards each season, but you were never really a top 5 running back during your time. If we're being honest, Marshawn Lynch was better than you. Arian Foster was better than you. Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, LaDainian Tomlinson. This is all off the dome. Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Sean Alexander that won an MVP. And there's a lot more running backs that I can go into, but at what point are we really going to just look at more than just the numbers? The Hall of Fame, if you look at these guys right here, these were the definition of guys that really made an impact on the game. Antonio Gates is an all-time leading touchdown receiving holder for tight ends in NFL history. Sterling Sharp, during his 7 seasons, had the Triple Crown, was a terrific receiver. If you go look at his seven years, almost had damn near 10 touchdowns a year, 68 total touchdowns. Eric Allen was a phenomenal talent at defensive end, and then obviously Jared Allen, his celebration with the whole turning the dial or anything like that. Those were guys that actually made an impact on the game. Can you tell me a Frank Gore highlight? Can you tell me a time where he was actually like that? A top 5 running back? I mean, you're seeing, I'm sifting through the different teams that he played for. I didn't even know he played for the New York damn Jets. I remember him with the Buffalo Bills, but do you remember him with the New York Jets or the Miami Dolphins? I think we all remember him, obviously, with the Indianapolis Colts, because during that time frame, he was a guy that was toting the pill for them. But outside of that, I mean, he's not a Hall of Fame guy. Yes, the numbers, 16,000, says that he's a Hall of Fame type of running back. But in actuality, if you go back and look at the running backs during the time frame that he played, he was not a top 5 running back. I forgot about Todd Gurley. During his time, Frank Gore was never viewed as a top 5 running back. If I am a guy that's allowing people into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, it is the best of the best. It's not a longevity award. You're going to see a lot of guys get in that should not be in. The Matt Ryans of the world, I don't think he should get into a Hall of Fame. Philip Rivers, I don't think Philip Rivers will probably get in because he has more Pro Bowls than a Frank Gore. But this is about to be a longevity achievement. If you play 20 years, you're getting into the Hall of Fame. I'm starting to see the Pro Football Hall of Fame turn into the NBA Hall of Fame. They're just letting anybody in at this point. Frank Gore should not get in, and it's okay. Matt Ryan should not get in, and it's okay. And that's just where I believe that we should leave it. But I do just want to transition just a little bit. So speaking about preseason, we got a couple games coming on Thursday, and I'm gonna reveal my picks for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I do want to say, if you're betting on preseason games, you need help. If you're betting on preseason football games, you need help. For Thursday, the Colts versus Rams, Bengals versus the I can't even read my own handwriting. I think they play the Eagles. Bengals versus Eagles, Raiders versus Seahawks on Thursday. And then Friday night, we got the Browns versus the Panthers, Lions versus the Falcons, and Commanders versus Pats. And like I said, I'm going to reveal my picks later this week on what I'm feeling for Thursday and Friday. But now I just want to transition. So you guys know that I always give out my top 5 fantasy receivers, running backs, etc. So this year I actually decided I'm gonna do my top 5 fades. So if you follow me on TikTok, I'll post that Joshua's Proximity. You can go look at me on TikTok as well. But here are my top 5 fades for this upcoming season. No particular order, or I had the order, just kind of forgot a little bit. So coming in at number 5, it's got to be Chris Olave. Now, Chris Olave, he has been one of the receivers that can arguably really light up a game at any point in his career. But Derek Carr is no longer there. You're not going to see. I'm just gonna keep it frank with you. If he does not wear a Guardian cap, you should not select him in fantasy football. He's been hurt too often. Too many concussions. You cannot depend on him being your number 1 fantasy receiver because he can get knocked out at any point. And you really shouldn't even depend on him to be your number 2. He should be a guy that's a flex option that you could have coming off the bench, maybe even some trade bait. But Chris Olave coming in at number 5. Now, number 4 is Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey, he's the biggest what if. If you draft him, you deserve everything that you're going to get. I have been on a record saying I don't believe he's the first-round selection. You should not take Christian McCaffrey within the first round. Second round is ideal for Christian McCaffrey. I'm still seeing a lot of analysts and guys that talk fantasy football saying that he's a top 5 pick. Why? You got Saquon Barkley. You got Jamar Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson. Why are you wanting to select him? I'm taking Derrick Henry right now above Christian McCaffrey. Don't take McCaffrey anywhere in the first round. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey. Now, number 3 is Jameson Williams. Now, if you know anything about the Detroit Lions, you know that Ben Johnson is gone. And with that being said, you're going to start seeing a lot more running-centric offense, I believe. Last year, if you watched the Detroit Lions, it took everything in their willpower to get this dude the ball. End arounds, deep digs, posts, goal balls. And he's too heavily reliant on touchdowns. In fantasy football, especially in PPR leagues, you need guys that's going to catch the ball effectively. There's a couple guys that would definitely take above J-Mo. Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hell, even David Montgomery. That's just a guy that I would take before Jameson Williams. So coming in at number 3 is J-Mo. At number 2 is the running back room for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Tank Bigsby, you don't know if he's the guy or Travis Etienne is the guy. Now, with that being said, you got to stay away from this running back room altogether. Last year, I had Tank Bigsby. When he was overseas playing in London, the offense looked much better. But now you have a new head coach. You don't know if they're going to be more pass centric. So that might include Travis Etienne. But out of the two, the better running back, without a doubt, is Tank Bigsby. And with that being said, there's a saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Well, in the running back room, if you got split carries, then you really don't have anything in fantasy football unless it's heavy reception based like a Alvin Kamara back in his day. But these two guys, Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, are not either one Alvin Kamara. So stay away from the Jags running backs altogether. And coming in at number one, the biggest fade is Travis Kelce. Now, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be more reliant on Rashee Rice, barring his pending suspension with the National Football League. And they got other guys that they're going to rely on. Travis Kelce is older. He's not really there anymore. There's a couple tight ends that I would take before him. Evan Ingram, Brock Bowers, Tyler McBride. There's just a lot more better talent at the tight end position than Travis Kelce. So, number one, the biggest fade is Travis Kelce. So, like I said, this is going to conclude Joshua's Proximity. We are officially into preseason. The Chargers versus Lions kicked it off last Thursday, 34-7, the LA Chargers. So just look forward to the upcoming weeks where guys are going to get cut. You're going to see guys emerge, and it's almost time to start drafting that fantasy football team. Joshua's Proximity, we out, baby.